Namaste, how's it going? Welcome to Heart Start. This is for level 1. I'm just waiting for everyone to show up. Once I can see that people are viewing, we'll go ahead and get going. But before I want to get ready to go, I wanted to show you a little screenshot of my YouTube community live stream events page. Because it is hilarious. You know how when YouTube chooses to do their monetizations based upon whatever information they will find appropriate, they are already like completely screening the Archangel Lucifer channeling. Check this out. Hold on. Not desktop 1 or desktop 2? Desktop 1. Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to show you here. Can you guys see this? Look at this. When I click on that, it says, watch this, see if it'll load. Limited or no ads. already deemed too inappropriate, right? Oh, you couldn't see it. Look at this, monetization. Limited or no ads due to content identified as not suitable for most advertisers. Your video remains fully playable and is eligible to earn subscription revenue from YouTube Red, which I don't care about. Nobody uses that, right? I'm not caring about revenue from YouTube's anyway. We don't get paid from YouTube. So we can click on this, request manual review. We are to play with them a little bit. I confirm that my video is suitable. Submit for review. And that's before I've even put the video up. What you want to bet anything that they are going to say no. So yeah, when you click on events here and you see my 2 events, that's what's going on with that. I need to stop my screen share. Hang on. Isn't that hilarious? Now I need to go back and pull up the live control room so that I can see you guys' your chat and everything. How do I do that? Yeah, that's funny, huh? We're already being limited and channeling Archangel Lucifer as if it's a bad thing. So it's interesting. Funny and sad, right? I won't get too sad about it because once they review it and get a manual review about it, maybe they'll see that we're talking about positive, wonderful things. Maybe we can manifest something amazing out of it. You know, just to be able to say, yeah, we're just talking about an archangel, not the devil. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I can see your post here, Allison. Today is the day where you guys get to sit with me and we get to talk about, for those of you who are on levels 1, 2, and 3, this is for everyone. This is the basic Heart Start live question and answer. We also have a Heart Start class, which is coming up Thursday, and we did a little poll on it. For those of you who are kind of watching and getting used to how this works, you'll notice that I put the schedule up on the weekend. You'll see that come up at the end of the class. Sometime between Saturday and Sunday, you'll see schedule for the week, and it's normally very much the same, Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Unless there's a holiday or a live event that I can't miss or something going on in my family, you will see me Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Mondays, depending upon what level you're on, which this week is Heart Start, that's level 1. So that's basically what is described for Heart Start is removing core beliefs and negative core beliefs and blockages, energy blockages, removing karmic attachments, negative implants, and what is perceived to be negative entities. So we start about that because that's kind of the belief system where humanity seems to be, operating in for now. Where do we want to start? I'm paying attention to your questions. We've got about 15 viewers right now, and I'm sure that as we go along throughout the rest of the half hour, we have a minimum half hour up to 1 hour, but minimum promised 3 times a week for those of you who are level 1. You'll see that for that first week. So that's 3 videos a month. I like to tell everybody how this works, just because people keep having so many questions on the site. How do I find my views? How do I find my material? All you have to do is scroll. It's like a living library that just grows and grows and grows. And every week there's 3 more, especially if you're signed up for level 3, you get access to 9 viewings a week, and that's just minimum. That's just if I don't do any little impromptu things, which I tend to get like really inspired and a lot more than that because I like to teach and I love to share what's going on with all the things in my life with these channelings and beings. So level 1, you will see 3, and all you do is just scroll through the news feed. It's just like social media. I haven't seen anything that's like it in terms of any other service. This is new to me too. I'm learning it too. All you do is you'll notice the little locks, and most of you who are watching already understand this. So this is for people who will find it and not know what I'm talking about. I know that, Slavica, you already probably understand. So you figured out how to operate the live stream. That's awesome. Just click on it. And if you are eligible for it, it'll pop up right on whatever device you're using and go straight over to YouTube live stream. And you will be able to type in the chat, which you are doing right now. Here, I'm going to type where it says say something here. So you just kind of hover your mouse above the video that you're watching if you're on Patreon, then click on it, and it'll bring you to YouTube live stream. Sign in, you'll get the chat, and then you just start typing me your questions. Mondays are the only days that we allow extremely personal questions. The rest of the time for Thursdays, those are classes that involve deeply embedded teachings where I'm going to be paying attention to your chat, but mostly I'm just going to be teaching, for the first few minutes, and then we'll get to your questions about the material only. And then Fridays are channelings. Everything is exclusive except the channelings. All of the, obviously, your private live question and answers for Mondays are exclusive. The classes on Thursdays are exclusive to a certain extent, but some of the material may end up in a book minus your name. But they won't be anywhere else. They're not taught anywhere else, et cetera, et cetera. That's not happening. These are exclusive classes. They're not even things that I've taught about in the classes that you will find on my page. Maybe later. Later I will teach about those things, but not right now. You're getting exclusive content. I do that for a reason. And insofar as channelings, they are partially exclusive. On Fridays, depending upon which level that you are operating within, on Fridays you get the for level 1, you get 1 channeling. For level 2, you get 2 channelings on every Friday, first 2 weeks of the month. And for level 3, you get 3 channelings the first 3 Fridays of the month. Okay, so that's how that operates. They're normally at 4 p.m. Everything is normally at 4 p.m. The only time I change it, which I do, it'll be like 2, 3, or 3:30. It won't be too far away. It'll normally be in advance. If I have to change it, it's because of a family event or live something that's in town that I have to do, for work. That's the only time that I ever change it. And you will be getting that schedule on the weekends prior to these teachings. And I'm hoping that all of this is a lot more clear so that we don't have to keep kind of just answering, because I don't have a team here that helps me with this yet. Paul does my channelings, but he doesn't help me with all of the behind the scenes stuff. If you have credit card problems, if you have credit card processing issues, if you need to cancel and re-sign back up, all that kind of stuff has to be done through Patreon customer service, because they are, it is their service. I am just here as a Patreon creator. I am not the Patreon owner. I do not operate in technical problems with Patreon, nor do I take payments or anything like that. They pay me. I just show up and teach. So you understand how that works, that if you have a credit card problem, I wish I could help you, but I can't. I'm not a Patreon customer service member as much as I would like to help you. So a lot of times I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Email them. So that's how it works. Let's get started with your questions. Now that we spent 5 minutes of that, I needed to get it out of the way. Your first question, do people call on Archangel Lucifer the way they do Michael or Gabriel? Well, no, most people don't. Most people are horribly afraid to do such a thing. Most people have an extreme incompatibility with the paradigm that has been created by religion. There was something that he taught me, and we'll be channeling him Friday, so I don't want to get too much into him unless you guys are all so interested that you want me to. If you are, I'll do it. This Mondays are your time to talk about all the topics that are listed in regards to Heart Star or anything you want for that matter. Mondays are the times when you can ask personal questions. So we can talk about that if you want, but I prefer we save most of it unless you just really, really are curious and you all really, really want to. Otherwise, he can answer all those questions for you on Friday during the hour-long channeling that we'll have of them. But no, most people don't call upon him. Most people are too scared to. Wish that they would. They'd get some amazing results. You said you mentioned it to your friend and gave her the channeling that you loved about Archangel Lucifer, and she She was blocked. You're going to get mixed signals from that. You know what I mean? You really, really are. I'm waiting for your questions, guys. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull out my handy dandy journal. Okay. And we are going to talk about some of the things that I wrote down in relation to something I just really needed to share that I got from Serapis Bay. Serapis Bay, Archangel Michael, Saint Germain. I can't say Lucifer's not in my teachings. I can say he's very different, but he embodies the nature of my teachings because he is one of the highest Elohim beings that they are, and I'm a voice of the Elohim. So he's not the being that's primarily talking to me today to teach some of this material that I need to share with you in relation to frequency management and heart start stuff. But Serapis Bay is the being that I channel through to share some information with you about heart start. The problem, he said, is the power over, power under, power with mentality in relation to the myth of power is what I wrote down. Okay. And I'm just going to read you directly what he said. He said, this was just this morning, when you perceive your world today in the times in which you survive, you see examples of many cultures and nations using power and force to invade and attack other lands, to destroy cultures and belief systems, or simply because DNA has given one group a different physical appearance. He's talking about racism. At the heart of the great myth of power is a deep-seated sense of separation that has been ingrained into your minds. It has been taught. And a resulting confusion about power with, and he put that in quotes, and power under. He also put that in quotes. He wanted to talk about power over first, and he wrote many paragraphs about that he wanted to share today for the core of these teachings. I'm just reading directly from what he wrote through me this morning. When the world talks of a powerful human, what exactly do they mean? If we could define the world using your physical senses, then power would be defined as what you see, touch, feel, and hear. So you see power as dominance or power over others, power over the environment, or even power over yourself. And because of the way your society defines power and focus, societies must set up organizations to prevent its misuse. So you have paradigms of systems, whether they be church or and when a society or group defines power in terms of the ability to direct the use of resources, whether it be money, human lives, military, weapons, food, raw materials, the greatest fear is the loss of that power to someone else or some other group. Power over others reinforces and deepens separation. You can't exercise power over others without making them other, be it based on religion, ideology, skin color, politics, gender. When personality looks outside of itself for power, it turns to material things or other personalities, and this leads to a pecking order of more powerful than and less powerful than. There is an alternative to this false kind of power, and as you'll see, turning to spirit, turning inward reveals a power based on your purpose here. Your purpose as divine creators, your spiritual and emotional creativity, your loving unity and cooperation as a species, your reverence and harmony and ability to make your life sacred and holy, and your collaboration. The power with mentality. This alternative power is based on unity and power with spirit and with your fellow humans, and this is what we wish to discuss today. Ironically, the first step to power with is trust, allowance, surrender, releasing attachments, expectations, and judgments, releasing definitions of everything that you think is true. everything that you think is real and everything that you fear. That is surrender. But surrender to spirit sounds, and you may perceive it to be similar to acquiescing to something that has power over you. And then you would question if that would be the same old paradigm and story with a different overlord. Power over requires submission of one to another, in which both feel separate. Power over works only when this sense of separation exists. To the extent that you feel separated from spirit, surrender will feel like submitting to a superior force. If, on the other hand, you sense a seamless unity with spirit, surrender simply means enlarging a small, fear-based agenda to the much vaster agenda of planetary and personal ascension. Replacing, I've got to do it all by myself, individualism, by alignment with the unimaginably powerful forces on planet Earth today. And this will create unity. The problem with power based upon who you are as a personality, separate from spirit, is that you can lose that power. Other people can steal your resources. Age takes away your strength and health. But power based on what you are cannot be stolen. Seeing yourself as a vast, infinite, multidimensional being having a human experience, rather than a human having a struggle with a spiritual experience, puts you in touch with your true power and its unlimited potential and creativity. The single most powerful thing that you have ever done was to become human, and that didn't require you to do anything. You grew your body in a womb at birth or just before. You embodied a part of your identity in form and then drew the veil in order to forget what you'd done. And that is one of the most powerful acts and trusting acts and heroic acts done anywhere in the universe. Because you said, I am strong enough and vast enough to carry out this lifetime. I can blindfold myself to the vast beingness of my nature and succeed amongst billions of others who have done the same thing. And we might catalyze and trigger each other, and we'll come together to remember. So you forget your true power along with your true identity, all to make the game more realistic. And when you're unaware of your true power, you have to scramble to grab what you can before anyone else. And then you're in survival, worrying, how will I make it here? Every unkind or harmful act committed on your planet has been done before by someone who felt powerless in some way. And when you feel powerlessness, there is unkind or harm in the act. You can only exercise power over others if you have a picture of reality that says they're separate from you. But if you see God in all, then you will see nothing but. And there will be no question of power over power under. Only unity within. You can change your pictures of reality around separation, but what makes coming to true power more difficult is the fact that you carefully built a cornerstone of separation into the human race at your cellular levels. Very few of you actually feel true unity at a deep physical level. And in fact, most of you feel something quite different, and that is shame. That is the truest nature of your karmic binding, your entity attachment, the nature of implants and why they are there is because of shame. And that is held primarily at a cellular level. That is why it continues to return and return and return, making you feel more and more blocked to access of your true natural abilities. Personality. It initially served as your eyes and ears for spirit on your planet. But a long time ago, when you decided even to believe in time and to experience this game of illusion and separation, personality assumed an identity separate from spirit, and you formed an outer egoic shell, and this caused you to take on the role of spirit in determining what's real and what's due about it, to keep outer ego unaware of the fact of separation from spirit. And this is called, or what you have deemed, the fall of man. You will learn much about this from the being that you will choose to channel on Friday. You laid a very particular energy into the species' genetic structure. This vibration feels slightly different to each of you. Some of you even feel fallen, lost, directionless, and this is why we are channeling the being that you will speak with on Friday. Others feel as though it's only a matter of time before you're caught for some nameless offense or something that is shameful. And then some of you simply feel unworthy, faulty, useless, dirty, soiled. And all of you will go to great lengths to avoid these feelings of unworthiness, but try looking at some of the events and the memories of your life from this perspective, and you'll see what I mean. Compensating for the shame is what you've been doing, and this is causing more of your blocks. It shows up in many different ways for each of you, in competition, in fear, in jealousy, in retreat within, shyness, anxieties. When you feel separate from each other and don't even know for sure that there is something that's called spirit, when you doubt, it's inevitable that outer ego will seek safety and create defense mechanisms and trying to get higher up the ladder than other people because you assume that ascension means stretching outward and upward towards something different and better, higher, better than what you currently are. And this is the primary cause of the block. What if you could perceive and receive nothing but you as you are in this moment right now without perceiving that it needs to be different? Let me figure out where I am in my journal. Hang on. I write all it down and I just read it back to you guys later. The reason that your source of press, your internet, your TV, your news focuses on death and doom and disaster is to allow you to feel that someone somewhere is having a worse time than you are, and that you are temporarily a little more safe because it didn't happen to you today. And then feeling cut off from spirit, the personality views life almost as a punishment, a trap that you are stuck, rather than as a gift and an opportunity for expression, which gives new meaning to the term prison planet, life sentence, lost, stuck. The important thing about shame is to know that you inherited it in your genetics as humans. On your planet, it just comes with the territory, but shame is so deeply a part of having a physical body that it never gets examined for what it is. It's just a condition of being incarnate. And every time anyone says something like, you should be ashamed of yourself, which I'm sure many of you here have heard, the knife turns deeper in the wound. And because at a very deep level, you start to begin to believe it, it ingrains deeper into your cellular nature. And of course, you all set the game of separation up this way for it to be exceedingly difficult. You couldn't just pretend to be separate from spirit if you are to gain challenge and expansion and growth here. You had to make it realistic in order for the universal games to work. And you have found that shame works very well for that challenge. Shame lies at the center of every cell of your physical nature. And normally at death, you can leave the shame behind in the cells, but in order to ascend with the body, the energy must be released from cells. Releasing shame in your lives is one of the 11 keys of ascension that we will be discussing in our channelings and teachings here. Beginning with cellular release. Oh, do you really want to start with that today? We have like a very limited time. We got 10 minutes. I should start asking some of your questions. So much that he would teach you and teach you and teach you about, and he would just keep going for hours and hours and hours, and you never get to ask your questions. I don't think I'm having a volume problem because I think I've been like paying attention to the everyone's comments, and I think like normally when I have a volume problem, many people will say, like not just one. So Slavica, that might be on your end. You might want to, you guys are having volume problems, put in your buds and turn it up on your end. I don't think it's on this end. I'm looking at my microphone settings and they're normally, this microphone is super professional, unless it's like staticky. If you hear static, you gotta let me know. You can hear me? Good. Jackie says this is saying so much towards my present self, and I don't know where these feelings of unworthiness come from. They come from everywhere. I feel like, and this is why I teach people different processes, my aura alchemy process, which if you're new here, all you have to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom of all these feeds and you'll find it. If you remind me, I'll repost it again so you don't have to do the scrolling, but it might take a day or two for me to, probably tomorrow or at the end of the day tomorrow when I get off from sessions. But yeah, the aura alchemy process. I created a process because humans were so in shame is so delicate and so strong that people believe that they need a process to work through it because that's how in power over it can be in our existence. So that's why I created the aura alchemy process. And there's like a 2-hour video of when I used to certify people for my alchemy process to relieve negative core beliefs and to find out where it came from. To operate and work yourself through those negative memories, releasing those negative core beliefs. That is why I created that, because people still believe that they need to go backwards in order to be okay in the now. If I could get you out of that belief, however, I would teach you to operate in the now, and you would need to read the presence process and work from the now into the future. Look at my resistance process, which is actually on YouTube if you're ready to focus in the now and not continue to go backwards. Because the belief that we need to go backwards, if it's fully there and you really fully believe that you're stuck and you need to go backwards, you're going to create that for yourself. And then that would be the case. And then you would need my aura alchemy process, which is at the bottom of all these news feeds. Scroll down to the beginning 3 weeks ago when I started, and it's there, or ask me later and I'll repost it, aura alchemy video. No, you're not too late. It's just I posted the schedule as 3:30 and I did it 30 minutes earlier this week because I have a place to go, a business meeting in Salt Lake City, and I had to get there on time. So occasionally I will bump it up a little bit if I have to go somewhere for, a meeting or something, which I had to do today. So that was rare, but I did post that in the schedule this weekend that I would be doing 30 minutes earlier. But like I said, if you feel like it's creeping back in, it doesn't mean you need to integrate or reintegrate something, or that your, I'll list the various processes: aura alchemy, completion process, the work, inner child work, theta healing, shamanic journeying, et cetera, with your shadow work. It doesn't mean that it didn't work. Once you transmute that core belief, guys, you do. It's like pulling up a root from a tree. And what happens when you pull up the roots? All the branches and stuff come with it. You get to the root, the rest comes too. Problem is, the brain likes to do this thing called negative synapsing. The brain is a very addictive beast by nature. So it likes to keep up your defense mechanisms and make you believe that shame is still necessary. So you're like, oh, I still feel it. That must mean I'm not okay. You're going to feel it because, again, it's inherent in your DNA. And the ego's tricky. And it likes to say, oh, you really didn't do that. So what I would do is read The Presence Process by Michael Brown. If I had time to write a big book like that, that's what I would write, because it teaches you how to deal with how you feel in the now, as opposed to always looking backwards, focusing exactly on how you feel right now and not attribute it to any part of time, because time doesn't exist. The only thing that exists that's real in time is now, the real time, not backwards. And you haven't created the future yet, so why are you worrying about it? If you create from worry, what happens? It becomes. So what I strongly suggest is looking at the presence process and looking at my resistance process, which teaches you how to get through a really tricky ego that tries to teach you that you are stuck, and need to go backwards. Because it's not true. Okay. Yeah, Dina, the schedule is posted normally on the weekends, anytime Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and it gives you the whole week ahead of what days and what times. And the days rarely change. They do a little bit, for this month because of holidays coming up, and that's the same for December. December, I'll actually be in Peru for an entire week. So, and then there's, things like that I can't guarantee, because of things like that we always get those same days and times. So we do it as we can. So it's a little off this week. We got 3:30 instead of 4, et cetera. And we do send those schedules on the weekend. Oh, you downloaded the presence process on PDF? That's freaking awesome. How'd you do that? I thought that you had to buy the book. Did you buy it from Amazon? It's like one of the best processes that I have ever read. Michael Brown is a genius. I'm not going to write my own stuff about it because I've already published the Aura Alchemy process, which focuses on the past and now. I've already written the resistance process, which is the resistance process. If you've ever seen it on YouTube, it's like the work of Byron Katie, except it's attacking things from a zillion different angles. You're looking at resistance, you're looking at persistence, you're looking at shame, you're looking at wonder and neutrality, and you're working yourself up in frequency. You're starting out in shame, and you're like, well, I wonder if maybe it's not good or bad, but it's just neutral, that maybe it means nothing. You go into neutrality and balance, and then you start, well, I wonder if maybe if it is bad, even if it is, what could I stand to karmically learn from it? So you start examining karma. And then finally you say, well, I wonder what is Dharma? What is good? What can I learn that's good? What's the Dharmic implications? And then you wonder if it could possibly be positive. And if all the bad things that you're worried about don't actually happen in your life, and you don't have to create badness out of fear, what that might look like if you could get beyond it. So it teaches your brain to release these concepts of the same bad things happening to you over and over and over. You see what I'm saying? Could I share it under today's video? Which link? Oh, Allison. Okay, she has that. Yeah, you can Google it. Just Google Michael Brown Presence Process, free PDF download. I imagine, or free download of Michael Brown Presence Process. I imagine that would get it for you. That's awesome. He should give it away for free because he's so awesome. You can buy his book too, though. The book is freaking amazing. I'm sure you can get the process downloaded, but the book is a 9-week commitment. I don't know what kind of little PDF is going on there, if that's free, if it's the whole thing or not, but actually it's 10 weeks. His spirit just corrected me. So it is a 10-week commitment, the book, and I really suggest you do it the whole way that it is in the 10-week commitment in the book. I have no idea what he's put on the PDF, but it's a start. For those of you who don't want to buy a book, it's a start. Scrolling through your questions now, we got about 2 minutes because Therapist Bay talked so much. Feel like I'm scolding a master for speaking so much with you. It's all right, right? He tolerates me. I feel like I always have an extra blockage that makes whatever I do way more difficult and near impossible to achieve. Everything I just said. Follow that. Oh, Sasquatch? You feel drawn to communicate with them? Do it. They're freaking amazing, especially in your area, Maria. Sasquatch are a very unique species. They're here to help with ascension. They're here to teach bilocation and astral projection. They're here to help you contact other worlds. They're here to teach shape-shifting. They're freaking fabulous. So many people are like, oh, one of my friends went to go visit Sasquatch and find Sasquatch and they never came back. You hear all these stories. Well, I'm telling you, those that never came back, they ended up, to you, it's that they never came back. But to them, they are super happy, exactly where they need to be in another higher dimension and having an amazing experience. So please don't pin Sasquatch as the bad guy. They are fabulous. Katie, the biggest insight that I have for you right now is that you gotta pay attention to your, I want to call it external crowd, but as nothing is external, that all those beings around you are reflections of you. But sometimes it requires some initial boundaries in order for your inner child to feel safe enough to go through the changes that you need to go through. Okay? Because this is pretty extreme in Dark Night of the Soul. And sometimes that requires a life change. You can't, how can I say this from what your guides are explaining to me? They're giving me the metaphor of, give me a second, going through a war zone and getting shot at. Healing up your wounds on the battlefield and saying, I'm going to live on the battlefield, even though I'm still getting shot at. And I'm dodging bullets left and right. You can't. You got to change your circumstances, you know? Notice actually started, oh, wait a minute. You're right. We do have an extra 30 minutes if I push it. I don't promise a whole hour, by the way, guys, because the reason why I don't do that is because sometimes, it just can't. Just can't. 30 minutes is the guaranteed minimum of what we can do in channeling. I'm going to keep going a little bit today. For some reason, I was thinking that it was already 5 o'clock, but it's not. Yeah, Serapis Bay did come through and speak on a lot. But yeah, just for you guys to know, the minimum is 30 minutes. The maximum is an hour, just in case I feel like overgiving. But that's not going to be the case all the time, because it just, yeah, sometimes I just need to go. It's a lot of work that you're getting, especially for level 3s. You're getting a whole bunch of channelings, Let me scroll through your questions a little bit more. Been working on a lot of acceptance, surrender, and releasing expectations. Vonnie, sometimes you got to make a life change to be continuing to do the same thing and expecting different results. The message I'm getting for you is very similar to Katie's. You can't stay in the same environment and expect extremely different results. But what you can do is zone it out for a bit, more meditation, deeper meditation. I would strongly request chanting, bhakti yoga, honoring the Shabad, which is a practice of chanting something. The Shabad practice is 11 times a day. These Shabads are kind of long, but you chant them 11 times a day. I discuss them over in my Facebook community rather frequently. We are chanting the Rahman Shabad right now. That's pretty amazing. So, something like that. If you cannot meditate silently, at least listen to some binaural beats or isochronic tones to get out of your ego for a while and basically get a break from the way that your life is set up to need so much maintenance in terms of everybody else depending on you in a way that completely diminishes your earth experience. It's the best way I can put it. As a mother of really young kids, I was experiencing the same factor, but it can extend well into the later portions of your life if you allow it, if you allow everybody to be super dependent upon you. Is that making some sense? What is the best way to help someone you love who is struggling with suicidal? Compassion. Be there for them. The problem is with being there for someone that's suicidal, what I've noticed is they begin to develop a dependency on you, on the empath. Most of you who wish to be there and hold a place of compassion and acceptance, look at my process on my blog at aurareader.com. You can also Google it to find it. I'm going to put it in the comments right here. It's called, this is how you Google Pamela Aaralyn. Of course, if I can spell my own name right, hang on. Type CPR for the soul. Or Pamela Aaralyn, compassionate presence response. Look that up. Oh, look, it tags me when I type my name. Learning all sorts of things with you guys on here. First time, this first few weeks using YouTube Live ever. So yeah, I think that you have to be compassionate and understand that most people are just telling them to get better, and get better, be functional, and do it now, damn it. That's what you want to avoid. You don't want to tell people how to be, how to act, and how to feel and how not to feel. You just want to let them know that you're there for them, but do not enable. You may be one of the only few that's there for them in a way, and then they can become addicted upon your presence. That actually happens to me quite a bit in my work. So what you do is you need to send them to a qualified facilitator of someone particularly who knows how to do that without enabling them. Shamans are really good with that. You can send them to a shaman. Completion response, that's a teal swan one. The process itself is really, really good. If you can find a qualified person, I suggest it. I really like Jenna Lemire, Lamere, and Matthew Rosewater. Those are two best ones that I know. I think maybe Pennywick used to do it too, but I think she does more shamanic stuff now, but she's just as good in what she does. There are many people that can hold space, but say, okay, here's the end of my space holding, and here's the homework that you need to do. Janine Dietrich is a really good one, even though she's not completion process certified. She has her own work, and it's very, very good. Known around the world at brain training and brain retraining, because this is some of the problem with suicidal tendencies, is that your brain is trained to be addicted to negative thinking, to be addicted to the belief that you could just die at any moment, and that actually may feel like a relief, so you become addicted to it. So with Janine's work, what she does is she focuses on really strongly retraining the negative response patterns in the brain, especially PTSD, and anxiety, which most suicidal tendencies come from that or grief. So you need someone to send them to someone that's qualified, or if you are qualified, do it, but make sure you don't become an enabler. But practically just hold a compassionate response. Hold presence for them. Be the one person who does not judge them. You're not judging that you have the answers. Please don't tell them you have the answers, because you don't. You don't know how it feels to want to die in the way that their soul feels like it wants to die. You will never be, even if you think you are, your particular experience and perspective of suicidal tendencies and thoughts will never be the same as someone else's. It is always somewhat different. But what you can do is at least say, this was my experience. And while I cannot tell you I understand your specific experience, I can tell you that I love you and I'm here for you. I cannot be here 24/7. I cannot be here at 3 a.m., unfortunately. But here are all my tools. Suicide hotline number. They're amazing. And for some reason, almost everyone I know that has wanted to commit suicide at any particular point in time does not want to use that number. They are amazing. And as long as you promise, as long as the person speaking to them promises for a safety agreement that they will not kill themselves, they actually won't call the cops. So many people won't call suicide hotline numbers because they believe that cops will be called and an ambulance will come to their home. And sometimes they don't even know if they're going to do it. They just want some prevention. So sometimes they just need someone to hold the space for them. They're not always going to call the cops. So just consider that. As long as they promise safety and don't play around, promise safety and mean it, promise that you're not going to kill yourself, then they're not going to call the cops, and they will legitimately hold space for you in a way that's not saying, I want to fix your problem, but here's all the tools. They have tools. So what you do to hold space for someone that is suicidal is to provide your entire tool belt. Here is all the frequency management tools I possibly have. Hold on a second. I'll show you some tools. Right here. So 365 ways to raise your frequency. See that? Okay. Got that screenshotted. Melissa Alvarez. Not that it's perfect, because sometimes it's like, pray, have a morning ritual, blah, 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 blah. Stop complaining, the worst thing to tell someone when they're suicidal. But there are certain things that give you hope. Like, I'm just scrolling through some of them. Page 103, number 75, if you have poor concentration. It gives you several crystals and ways to combat boredom, and what to do when you figure out that you're bored, and how to combat boredom, not just with positive thinking, but with positive thinking plus a zillion other ways to combat boredom, because that's some of the situations with suicidal tendencies is complete boredom. If you're confronted with someone who's angry, suicidal people feel very caught in situations where there's tough stuff. So it teaches you how to diffuse those situations. Calming the inner critic, vital for this sort of stuff, like that mean little voice in your head. That's page 125. How not to sabotage yourself. Tools, 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 tools. You just want to inundate them with tools and love and presence. That's what you want to do for yourself or anyone who's suicidal. and to try to get them to commit to reading the presence process, because it will save and change their lives. To try to commit to something like the resistance process as well on YouTube, that's mine, or the work by Byron Katie, to try to get them something that's very teethy for spiritual work. But seriously, is my phone going to ring right now? I did everything on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Something that's got teeth in it, but not something that's going to like completely bury them. Okay. A shamanic journey right now it's good. I mean, you can suggest it. It's one of the things that they can do. But when you're at the edge of suicidal nature, ayahuasca is not exactly the thing that you want to do. That's not exactly the type of shamanic journey that you need when you're completely suicidal, unless you have a shaman that's really qualified to hold space for you. So, yeah, I'm going to Peru coming up, and we'll be holding space for someone I care about very much. He's not suicidal or anything, well, as far as I know, but there is some depression and anxiety tendencies. So I'm just going to be there to hold some space. And I may or may not be doing ayahuasca, but if I do, you'll hear all about it in the blog. I haven't felt called. I feel that I'm just going to go there and end up holding space for him. Like I haven't felt the calling, to do it. But that's not something that most people want to do when they're suicidal, Just such a long topic. I'm sorry it took so long. Any tips to shift out of constantly feeling overwhelmed? Oh, yeah. That's anxiety, actually. She says, even when responsibilities and circumstances should be manageable. Okay, right there. Right there. Those of you who follow my work strongly know what I'm going to say. Maggie, there's no shoulds. Release expectations in a strong way. My tip for you is to read A Course in Miracles. Expectations are the killer of all things, including your inner child. Expectations shame you, squash you, mash you up in a little ball of shame. It's terrible. So please do not do that to yourself. The should be's, no. There's a lot of things that should be manageable. I am not a type A+ personality. I'm kind of in the middle. I can be super motivated by things. I'm not incredibly lazy. I'm not like a B- either, whatever those labels are on earth that people use. But I'm somewhere up there. I can be an A when I want to. I'm an A+ or A++, and sometimes I'm like a B- or a B+, and never completely unmotivated, not really a procrastinator, but I am incredibly forgetful. So sometimes it's not that you don't want to do things. So stop beating yourself up. When you awaken spiritually, your entire life shifts. So your ability to handle negative things can get initially harder because it's empathically weighing you down. And it's like walking around feeling as if you are a sponge being poured over by an ocean. So you got to wring out the sponge. Frequency management all the time. This is why I teach these classes. This is because some of you at level 101 here, these classes on the Heart Start program, are in deep need of just the basics of spirituality. You can't jump into astral projection or bilocation because you can't jump into wanting to see angels right away. You could, but you need to start somewhere, just getting your mind really calm, getting your frequency managed, getting calmer and more peaceful, Oh, thanks, Ruby. Thanks for being here. I haven't been to Peru, Vani. I wouldn't know. I've only bilocated there and astral traveled and had journeys, and I know that I'm going to come back different. That's all that I know. And I know that I'm a little bit scared. So could losing the overdrive tendency actually mean you're getting more balance and ascending a bit instead of losing your grip? What's your definition of overdrive tendency? Like that need to constantly do? If you feel more balanced, yeah. Ascending is not about going upwards, doing more, being more, mastering more, although sometimes that can be the case. Abundance can come naturally if you're creating. Ascendance is not about whether or not you're successful or making money or being in abundance financially. Ascension is more about if you are going within, as opposed to opening up the lotus petals within you to branch up and go up, up, up into something that's higher than you, it's take the lotus flower and I don't have a flower. Man, I need a whole box of tools. One of you guys need to give me that for Christmas with all these tools I'm always looking for, a fork, a flower. So my hand is a flower. Just use your imagination. So if this is a lotus flower, when you're thinking about ascension, most teachers on this planet teach it like, open up your third eye. Open up your Kundalini. There's one. Open up your, yeah, actually Kundalini would be here. Open up your Kundalini, open up your third eye, open up your heart chakra, open up your telepathy, open up this, and whoosh, you're gonna go up, up, up. Ascension looks like this. Heart, mind control, meditation, frequency management, unity and grace. I'm just kind of giving like a basic from the ground up. Ascension looks like this, and it's this way, in. Building these roots in to recognize that the universe goes in. It doesn't go up, and your spirit doesn't leave your body. When you go inward, your spirit becomes your body. Your higher mind becomes your ego, and you realize that you are never separated to begin with. Do you understand how ascension is different from these teachings than anything else that you're ever going to get your hands on? As I'm teaching you something that's very simple, but humans like to make it complicated, and we're going to teach the very simple nature of how to do it. Everything that you do in this class will help you towards ascension. Everything that you do in this class will open up your spiritual abilities. Everything that we teach in 101 will naturally open your abilities. You don't need to go pay me $100 for medical mediumship to get it done, although it's quick that way. If you start doing medical mediumship and you haven't mastered your depression or your heart, that's when fun things start happening that may not be quite manageable in frequency for you. If you start talking to angelics before you can turn your head down, the angels that you talk to are gonna just do nothing but trigger you. You see where I'm going? This is why people end up in mental hospitals, because they open up all these gifts this way, and I'm like, ooh, I watch it energetically speaking. I'm looking at their auras and I'm observing their energies through the ether, and I'm like, that's going to be a mental hospital if somebody doesn't do something about it, because they got all these guys talking to them, but because they haven't mastered the fear and the heart, they're going to start assuming that it's schizophrenia and that they have demons and attachments and aliens and implants. You see where I'm going with this work, right? Oh, okay, now we got 10 more minutes. I'm glad I gave us an extra 30 minutes because we're getting into some heavy stuff. I know you have told me more than once, but I'm still dizzy, and it has been 3 weeks now. And I know you said it could be something going on in my sacral. If you feel you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. I mean, please, I'm not qualified legally. I honestly get so scared as a medical medium to give people medical advice. So many times when I'm like, it's ascension symptoms, and it always is for the most part when I look at people, but then it can turn into physical problems that project into extreme health problems. If you're that dizzy, yeah, I'll go figure out what it is, but keep in mind, they're probably only going to treat you allopathically, which may or may not make it better. So make sure it's not life-threatening. Let them check your blood pressure. If you feel you are at risk, go to the hospital, get your blood pressure checked, go to the doctor, let them listen to your heart, let them do some basic stuff just to make sure that you're not in danger, okay? Dizziness is not something to mess around with. You never know if it's your blood pressure, okay? I have a feeling yours is projected a little bit beyond the standard ascension symptoms and well into your physicality. So if it is blood pressure, which it has been before, that's the kind of reading into you a little bit. I'm not supposed to, but I'm just kind of warning you, you might need to see a doctor. I'm not saying necessarily it's so you can take their horrible medications. Don't get me started on that. I'm not crazy about allopathic work and the stuff that they give you guys, but you just want to make sure you're okay. All right. I'm not going to Machu Picchu this time. I'm not called. I'm called to go to the Iquitos region. I know that when we go in there, we're going to be going from Lima into Iquitos. And then when we fly into Iquitos, we're going to be, oh my God, there's like a 30-minute drive. and then like a hour and a half boat ride, and then a 45-minute hike just to get to camp. There's no electricity. There's like a generator that you can use for like 1 to 2 hours a day to charge your devices. I don't even imagine that I'm going to be looking at my device, not even once. I know I'm going to be busy with other things. We're going to be there for a week. My team and I'm just like, the bathroom is inside of the hut itself. Yes, it is a hut with like mosquito nets and stuff. I'm terrified of monkeys. I got a really big fear of monkeys. And from what I understand, there are a lot of monkeys in Iquitos. And man, I love animals, but me and monkeys have some kind of a karmic thing. So yeah. Yeah. And they tell you right on the site, they're like, if you are a person who is attached to your luxuries, if you have health problems, if you're not in good physical shape, if you have problems in your relationship, don't bring your partner, like all these sort of things. If you're on heavy medications, which I'm not, I'm pretty healthy. I've had some injuries that I recovered from recently with my wrist very quickly in healings, but overall I'm very, very healthy. Um, yeah, I'm like, this is just crazy. Yeah. Camping. I'm not a camper. I'm a glamper. So, and monkeys freak me out, but I love the rainforest. I love the idea of going there. I love the idea of connecting to the ether there and being around medicine men, because that's who we're going to be around primarily. And yeah, just connecting to the lands. I have no idea where I'm going. I just know that I need to. And there's something that I'm going to come back to share with you guys, and I don't know what it is, but it's going to change our world. Okay, let's see. I mean, I don't put on makeup and do all this stuff. I don't fix my hair. It's ponytail time when I'm there. Um, but yeah, I'm not, I like showers. If I can just get a shower and have a restroom that's very close to where I sleep, that I don't have to speak or talk or have interaction with monkeys to get to, I think I'm gonna be okay. And they told me that the restroom is inside of the hut, inside of the place we're in, so that everybody has their own private restroom and area like that. So that's real good. Don't have to come across any monkeys or go outside in the rain to go to the restroom. So that makes me incredibly grateful. Don't really care about electricity or not. I'm not here for that. You know, don't need to curl my hair or put on my makeup. You know, that just makes mosquitoes get you anyway. So all I want is a shower. And that's one thing that my team and I keep asking. We're like, shower? Yeah, we're Americans. We like showers. Where are we going to shower? We don't like stinking. So I have no idea. Yeah, it's an ayahuasca retreat. And I feel like I'm the only one that's probably not going to be doing ayahuasca because I don't feel the calling. Other people are, and I'm there to observe and hold space. I love the rainforest, but I love showers, Maisie. Showers. Yeah. And I love medicine. And my granddad was a medicine man. I'm still kind of secretly hurt that I didn't get initiated because he died too fast for that to happen. And he was like, oh, you don't need initiation. When you hit the forest, the plants will sing to you and initiate you. And it hasn't happened yet. So maybe that's why I'm going. I've had other shamanic initiations, but yeah. You're going to bring a monkey face to face with you. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Sheesh. It's like my greatest fear in life right now, monkeys. Used to be spiders, now it's monkeys. Since about age 30 or so, I've been terrified of monkeys. At least I got rid of the spider fear. Right? Oh, God. A little stink is good for you. Not a week's worth of stink. I will share the experience. No, monkeys don't want my love. They just want to take my food. I probably smell like fresh foreign people to them with nice, yummy food that they don't normally get access to. That ain't about love. That's about opportunity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, they don't. You sure? I don't know about that, Dina. I don't know. I don't think they want my love. I think they want my food, my backpack, and my shiny devices. They will sense it and come to you. Right now, they ain't sensing nothing but my fear, which means that I'm definitely an opportunistic target. It's true. It's like she has shiny devices. I'm going to bring as few things as possible because I'm so scared that a monkey's going to steal it. Seriously, already with the fears. You guys are seeing my fears. Cuddles? Are you kidding me? They have teeth. I'm not cuddling with the teeth. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I'm not carrying no bananas. I got nothing. When I go into the forest, it'll be me and the medicine man and nothing. Like even no lotion on my body. Nothing. They'll be like, oh, that's just another human. She ain't got nothing but her fear. Baby wipes. Oh, yeah. Dry shampoo. Oh, I don't know if that covers that kind of funk of 7-day stink Maggie, but I will definitely bring all that, screenshot that, and put that on my list. I got plenty of essential oils, but I'm scared a little bit of smelling like an American because, you know, these foreign mosquitoes like all the yummy stuff that we put on our skin. And I am incredibly sensitive to mosquito bites. I just don't want any of that either. No, I don't want my camera. I don't want my sunglasses. I don't want my cell phone. That's way in the bottom. That'll stay in my hut up underneath the bed somewhere hidden. Um, I don't care about any of that. I'll be capturing all that stuff with my eyes. If I see a monkey, the last thing I'm going to be doing is taking a picture of it. I'll just be trying not to run. Sing? They listen? They're going to want my singing? That's a good idea because singing helps me with fear. Witch hazel. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Witch hazel and maybe some, what's the other one for mosquitoes? This essential oil. I used to have it around here somewhere. What is it? Citronella. Do you think that'll work? Or you think they're immune to it and just eat it for dinner? Maybe I can make a witch hazel citronella. I don't know. The guides there at the place is Capitari is the one that's doing it. They say to get the bug spray that you can actually get from the place in town, like in Equitos, like before you get in the boat, that you want to get yourself some of their bug spray, like that their bugs are not immune to. So I'll take a little bit of both. Garlic and onion. You don't know me well enough to understand with garlic and onion. I can't stand that. Like, garlic and onion does something to me that pulls out my deepest triggers and fears and yucky stuff. And it kind of turns off abilities and puts me straight into ego and weirdness and just completely messes up my energy. I don't know why. I think it's a past lifetime thing. Neem? That'll smell fun. Yeah. I can't imagine me smelling like a garlic or onion, though. I might vomit. Grandpa, grandma, monkey. Like the older ones. Pterodactyl repellent? Isn't that a dinosaur? Neem. That feels right. Be careful on how much. Okay. Mountain Rose, that's the place where you would get that. Is that a distributor or a website? Pterodactyl repellent. That's about how big the insects are there, too. Hilarious. Oh my gosh. It's so good to sit with you guys today. It was a long session, especially with Serapis Bay, and the things that we're talking about were very deep. So I'm just kind of decompressing before I say my goodbyes. Oh, Mountain Rose is a website. When am I going? Let me look at my ticket. December the 2nd is when I pull out of Salt Lake City. And arriving in Equitos on December 3rd. Be home by December 12th. Good times. Oh, you want to go to the event? Oh, I Choose Love is going to be fabulous. You really should go. It's going to be in the surrounding San Diego area. I cannot promise you it will be in the city because those venues are expensive, but we're looking at hotels right now that will allow for concerts because we do have on Friday evening of the I Choose Love breakthrough event. It is a channeling, life purpose breakthrough, and shamanic healing core belief breakthrough event. Everything that we talk about, all the things you guys are talking about today, we covered there in the most deep levels. Sean is amazing. He's been putting on these events for, several years, probably at least the past 10 years. That's just the minimum that I think of. I've been to his events. They're amazing. I've known him a long time. He doesn't know me very well, but I've been kind of one of those fangirls for the longest time. And finally, he figured out that I do similar things. And he doesn't have a big following in that area, and I do. So I thought, well, you guys have been wanting me to come to California for the past 3 years, and he doesn't have a big crowd there. So we can introduce Sean to you because you guys are amazing, and Sean is amazing. I will be channeling Yeshua ben Joseph and Mary in a standard trance channeling. You guys will come up, you'll have a microphone handed to you, and you'll get to sit with Yeshua and Mary. I will be in trance, and you will get to ask them questions. I'll be completely out of the way. So you guys have seen how I operate in trance because you saw the Saint Germain channeling. So we'll have someone there. I think that both of my team members will probably be there, Paul and Diana, to manage and handle the microphones and handle things like that. And they will be just picking out, you raise your hand, they'll call you up, get in line, they'll call you up, and you get to talk to Yeshua and Mary directly. It's very Abraham Hicks style. It's very much like that. So it'll be really, really good. That will be on Sunday after lunch, for 2 hours. And then the rest of the day is time to sit with me uniquely to get sessions and things of that nature. First come, first serve for the sessions. That's on Sunday. On Friday evening, I will be opening for Sean Galloway's concert, and I'm just going to be doing a brief shamanic drumming followed by some specific invocation chants that I will be teaching you from the Deer Clan, which is a Native American tribe of the Cherokee. That's my people. Deer Clan are very rare. We're almost most Deer Clan are no longer on Earth. So I'm carrying through a generation that just really doesn't exist, or might be less than 10% of the tribe alive still on this earth today. So the invocations from the Deer Clan and shamanism are incredibly powerful. So yeah, when it is February the 16th, 17th, and 18th. So on the 16th, you'll arrive at the event. It's probably going to be in a hotel because we are looking at hotels so that you can, we're going to book off a block of rooms so that you guys can find them. And when you call the hotel, you'll be able to say, I'm going to choose a love event. Can you give me this special rate? We're hoping to get some special rates because of that. Hopefully. We're looking at hotel rates right now, and they look pretty good. So basically, it's going to be 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'll be opening for Sean's event with some shamanic invocation and drumming and chanting and teaching you that. And then Sean will be putting on a fabulous concert. I might be doing that for all of 20, 30 minutes. And then Sean Galloway, Gallaway. You can find him at SeanGalloway.com. You can find him on my YouTube as well. I interviewed him. He was the guy that no, he wasn't at it. I don't think he was at an N5D event. But you can find him on YouTube. He was the guy who did the song I Choose Love. Remember when I did the Clear Conscious channeling of the Las Vegas shooter? When that happened, and there was a song on that. He was the guy that created that song. That song won the World Global Peace Song of the Year Award for 2017. He recently got away with that in Ukraine. They awarded it to him. So it's a big deal to get his song nominated and to win. So he is amazing, and he is an amazing shaman represented by Divine Masculine. So we'll be doing that concept from 7 to 10. Next 8 short right now, 9 a.m. at the venue. And you'll be doing what's called the dance of the Divine Masculine. So we'll all sit together, break off any individuals that will go over how team by team with you to talk about what divine feminine forms are happening in you, what divine masculine is. Most of the divine feminines are about God. The mother wounds as shame, divine masculines are about powerlessness. and abandonment. So all those negative things that are most common in humanity right now, right? Human consciousness, the divine feminine, masculine. So you look at that, you work through all those matriarchal and patriarchal wounds. You do it together, do it individually. You get a choice to safely let your voice be heard in front of people without feeling like, or at least ashamed. You speak in front of people, even in small groups. You safely. And trusting like this, it is powerful. And you have facilitators, shamans, 2 shamans at the minimum, me and Sean. We're looking for a couple other shamans to volunteer as well. We're hoping we have a total of 5 shamans facilitate this event in terms of them space for any groups we do every So Sean teaches the divine masculine part, I teach the divine feminine part. Okay? Can you hear me now? Let's see. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? It's like a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Now. Yes. Okay. Okay, so now that I just said 1,000 things because I get all in an excited thing when it comes to my work that I do live. I love working with people live. So much more. Like, I love teaching online, but when it comes to working with people live, I step into some weird kind of Cherokee power. You'll see what I mean. It's unstoppable. And with Sean there, he's so powerful and exciting and amazing. His energy is like mine times 1,000. I spoke to 5 minutes and it was probably sounding like a robot with the Yeshua voice. I'm sorry, it was Red Elk. When that comes through, it happens. When many of those beings come through, it happens. The event is, yes, I can post it on Patreon, but you can also find it on Eventbrite. You know, the event there is called I Choose Love, The Breakthrough. I have a Facebook event called I Choose Love, The Breakthrough. Underneath where else it is? It's on all my pages right now. It's all there. So it's on eventbrite.com. And it's under my Facebook events as well. And it is in all of my social media. It's everywhere. But yeah, I'll post it here. Y'all don't let me forget. I might post something other than just in the comments, like do a whole other post about it. Just one of you, though. Out of like 50 people, like I'm going to get like 50 posts that way now. Yeah, it is. I think for the early bird, if you do it in the early bird time frame, it is 246, I believe, for the 3-day event, which isn't too bad to be somewhere for 3 days. And it does include 1 meal. It does not include your accommodations, but it does include 1 meal because we'll have that catered in from the hotel that we're in or from wherever we are. It will be brought in and catered. It's not super fancy. So if you have gluten allergies, dairy allergies, things like that, I can't help you with that. There will be some meat, and then there will be some things that aren't meat that are for vegetarians, but there will not be, we cannot accommodate gluten allergies and dairy allergies are the thing about that. So what other process would I recommend for cutting, for a cord cutting? It depends upon what you're working with. For you, Ruby, I would say the presence process. I would say really strongly, deeply working with the now and the resistance process on my YouTube channel. Yeah, Jackie, I cannot eat onion and garlic. Okay, all over the place. Again, back to the event. Day one, I'm doing shamanic invocation chantings and teaching you what they mean. 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, opening for Sean. Sean's going to do an amazing concert. Day two, 9 a.m. until lunch, you're going to be working in deep shamanic circles and doing the releasing of the negative core beliefs and empowering your life. Yeah, it's really not bad for 3 days, huh? Then you eat lunch, but we recommend that you don't leave because we don't want people like coming back in during very powerful sacred journeys because this is a journeying event. Come back, go into the kitchen, eat, relax for an hour, come back. It's just an hour, and then we get you going again. It's all day. Sean works on these things all day. He doesn't do just a little 2-hour event. It's an all-day event. Come back, do it into the evening. And then in the evening, you'll have some time for that evening for some individual sessions with me, first come, first serve. And you can, right whenever I eat dinner, right after that, you'll have some time right before that, right after that, about 2 hours that night. The next day, we start again fresh at 9 a.m. until lunch. You got the tail end of the ceremonies, which is primarily going forward. So you went backward, and then you're going forward in day 3. So that's like, what do I do with this? That's the very empowering part. It's all positive, very celebratory, very powerful. You'll love that part of it. A lot of drumming, a lot more shamanic stuff, but it's not as hard as day 2. It's more about, okay, now we go into the positive core beliefs. What now? Putting your purpose into action is what I call day 3. And then you break for lunch again. And then after lunch, you're going to come back for 2.5-hour channeling with interactive Abraham Hicks style with Yeshua and Mary. I will be in trance. We already talked about that. And then I will be also, prior to that, I will be doing a live guided synchronized meditation with my sound bowls. So for those of you who are following my chanting and overtone chanting, it will probably be pulling in the Elohim, which I've been strongly working with for many, many years. So we'll be accessing the Elohim and pulling in some overtone chanting from the Elohim. Yeah. If you get it far enough in advance, if you're coming from Ohio, the tickets are really good right now. If you purchase them now, you could get, a couple $100, $200 or $300 off of a ticket if you do it now. It's a thing. But, we only, I don't want to say we're only accommodating 100 people, but I like to keep it 100 people and under because it's such a sacred event. And the more people we have, the more volunteers we have to bring in and the bigger the event costs, et cetera, et cetera. So we're trying to keep it 100 people and under. 50 would be really, really great because once we start getting above 50, we have more volunteers, bigger venue space, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can't find the event? I will post it for you. It's at Eventbrite. So if you go to Eventbrite and look up I Choose Love under I think the category might be spiritual. I don't know what the category is, but I Choose Love is there. And you'll see it. It's got a beautiful little cover page that's from Sean's album. You guys have any questions? You can't find it? I'll post it. I'll post it later. Don't worry about it. Yeah. It is on my Facebook page as well. I have a private Facebook page and then I have the Facebook group page. So if you go to this one here, Eventbrite, Brite, B-R-I-T-E. That's where most events are posted. So it's posted there. It's posted at facebook.com. I think my Pamela Aaralyn is my personal one there. It's not posted on my fan page yet, but will be. It'll be everywhere. You'll keep seeing it, and we'll post it in the sections here. If you want to volunteer, I need you. Feel free. I need you. I need you. I need you. That would be awesome, awesome, awesome. Because I'm still looking for volunteers right now. I only have 2 volunteers as it stands. Probably can get 3 if one of my moderators shows up. But I'm looking for at least 5. Eventbrite. I'll post it right here. Eventbrite.com. You're looking for I Choose Love, that event. Yep. You'll love it. You'll love it. And you get the early bird rate right now. I think it's going up to like $333, but I don't know exactly when. I suck at knowing dates. I'm sorry. I should know these things. All right, I gotta go downtown to Salt Lake City because oh my gosh, you should come to this event too. I am channeling Master LaValle, who is an amazing Course in Miracles teacher and very enlightened guru. Rare that I call people a guru. This guy was. If you want to read this book will freaking change your life, but it will piss you off first. This book will trigger you in every way you could possibly trigger you. If you volunteer, you can still be a part of the events, depending upon what level of volunteer and what you volunteer to do. How to volunteer? Email me at PamelaAaralyn@gmail.com, or message me here, but I prefer an email. What was I going to say? I'm channeling Master LaValle. His daughter is a friend of my partner. She was coming in, and she just randomly was like, my partner said, you know, I have this friend. And he's like vague like that. And she's coming in, and she wants to meet you, and she wants to stay with us. And I'm like, okay. She's really awesome, and she's going to be promoting her dad's book. And then I look up, and he's there. I'm like, I know her dad. I read that book. So the book is called How to Become a Christ. And it is all about Christ consciousness and all about enlightenment and all about non-duality and how to release the ego. And oh my goodness, it's one of the most amazing books I've ever read. I don't do a lot of reading because the guides kind of do an Edgar Cayce on me. They just say, oh yeah, go to sleep. You'll remember all of it when you get up. And I do. I actually did not want to do that. When I read this book, I'm like, please don't give me any downloads. I just really want to read this book. This is a fascinating book, and I want my ego to just soak it all in. So I did. That's how amazing. His name is Master LaValle, LaValley. I'm channeling him in December, right about the same time when Kevin Moore is going to be interviewing me for They Call Us Channels. I'm going to be in that documentary. They Call Us Channelers is the movie. And he's interviewing me and Cryon, that's Lee Carroll, and Daryl Anka, and anybody that's associated with channeling in a big way. Who else? Yeah, I think Tina Louise Spalding's in there. There's some interesting people there. Really, really interesting people there. And maybe who does eye channeling? Eric Meadows. Eric Meadows' mother, Eliza, she's going to be in it. So he's coming in to interview me maybe December the 15th. So once we get, that's why I'm leaving in about 10 minutes, because we're going to go talk to someone who's sponsoring me to channel Master LaValle in Salt Lake City because his daughter's coming in. So I'm going to get to meet his daughter and channel him. I feel honored that she's allowing me to channel him because I just adore him. And at the same time, Kevin Moore is going to be here to video it and take bits and pieces of it to perhaps put into the movie They Call Us Channelers. And then he'll be personally interviewing me as well. So this is why he is in Utah to talk to me. So all that's happening in December. So I can't wait to share all of that with you. These are all the little things that I don't tell people. Tell you guys it first. So if you want to see me in Salt Lake City, keep your eyes and ears open. I'll be posting that event soon. And it's probably going to be $5 to come. $5! Because I love this guy so much that I'm just like, $5 minimum, but please donate something a little bit more if you can, so that you can just support their work and help his beautiful daughter make her travels all around the country to teach about him. He's amazing, Master LaValle. So for $5, you can come see me channel him for an hour and hear his daughter talk about his life and get his little $10 book. Yeah. So good. I'm so excited. Don't get me started. I love you guys. I gotta go because I gotta be on the road in like 5 minutes. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm going to go. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. See you on Thursday. And I believe Thursday is 4 o'clock. You can see the schedule up underneath this post. About 3 or 4 posts down is the schedule. I believe it's 4 o'clock though. Mountain Standard Time on Thursday. You have polled it, and it looks like it's law of oneness that you've been asking for. That's what the polls showed me. That's going to be good. I love teaching about that. Good one. See you soon.